In a world, 4 friends, 1 mission, to bring freedom to everyone involved.
Dude, what the fuck are you doing?
I'm doing a thing for the podcast.
Dude, just say the name.
Fine. It's the Freedom Friends Podcast.
1, 2, 3 into the 4.
You know, in solidarity of our podcast brethren, Joe Rogan, I think we should also just say the N-word out loud. Why don't you start, John?
Well, that's
Scott.
John. And no, let's not.
Let's not do that. Just kidding. Welcome, everybody, to the Freedom Friends Podcast. Oh, what a fucking mess that is, man.
Where we are
Right?
going to keep rocking in the free world.
Yeah, we are.
By censoring other people.
What a get your
Jesus.
you better get your
Anyways.
redacted button ready on this one,
Yeah.
Justin, because I have some opinions. And, anyways, yeah. Welcome to the Freedom Friends Podcast, brought to you by warfightertobacco.com. Use that code FTFO, screw yourself that sweet.
No.
Oh no, he's got a dog on his lap. We can't do that one.
That's illegal.
15% off over there.
I'll go to jail in Texas for that.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably in most states, I'd imagine. Yeah,
As you should.
and
Right?
fucking yeah.
Hey, in West Virginia, it's only illegal to have sex with an animal if it's under 25 pounds.
Gross.
I just
What
wonder how he knows that.
No chicken fucking.
Actually, it was
Roger.
from a law class that I took, and we were supposed to find strange laws on the books.
Didn't you spend
Wow.
some time out there?
No. No, I did
West
not.
by God, Virginia. And of course, our friends owellness.us for all of your CBD needs. They got the tinctures, they got the freeze gel, which I'm dipped in right now because my shoulder hurts. So use that code FreedomFriends25. Get yourself a quarter off your order over there. Boys, we have a guest today.
Do.
We do.
A good one.
I just
Oh,
want to
yeah.
say
Great
that I
one.
appreciate that you're dressed like a lumber snack.
You like that?
Yeah.
Just for you, pal.
It's doing it for me.
I can hear your butthole
Ah,
salivating.
dude.
I almost dressed the same way in my green one, so I'm glad I didn't.
Well, Jazz would have been a lot closer to you, man.
Yeah, we would have switched
He'd have
seats.
been like, hey, John, can I switch with you?
Shit, we didn't have the same seat. Are you fucking
Right?
whiskey and flannel?
I can't believe I called you John.
I do it all the time.
Like,
I do it
fuck.
constantly.
Like just nope, I'm not going there.
Yeah.
We should go back to introducing
We
our
do
guest.
have a really good guest on the show
we
today.
actually do, yeah.
And he showed up with quite possibly our favorite pastime.
Facts, yeah.
Plenty of alcohol. That's all that
So,
matters.
from the one and only Copper Shot Distillery in Bastrop, Texas, we have
Steve,
Steve.
Who you are the master distiller up there.
I'm the idiot behind it all.
You're the guy running the show up there, huh?
Yeah, the mastermind. Sometimes I wonder what the hell I did, but hey, it works.
If it's
Whatever it is, keep doing it.
if it's stupid and it works, is it stupid?
Right.
You know
What I
what
love is he was
Yeah.
telling me a story before the show, and he apparently accidentally started making whiskey. It wasn't even like the plan.
Yeah.
He was just like, try beer. Turned out I was better at whiskey. It's like, fuck, all right.
Well, it turns out whiskey's better than beer. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
also
but-
true.
a bigger fan of this than and you made us an old fashioned, which I gotta tell you, it's pretty good, man. Like I'm not mad at it. That's for damn sure. So thank you for that.
Well, I'm
That's-
already at
that's
round
nice.
2 of them. So.
Yeah.
Actually, it'll get you where you need to be right away.
and
well.
what did you make it with?
So that's the honey whiskey. So I literally take
Jesus.
my base whiskey
Yeah.
and we blend
Yeah, we're
local
not gonna
honey
talk about
into it. Yeah, you
Texas
don't
honey.
need any for an old fashioned. You don't need any simple syrup. You let the honey be the sweet, man. And
That's
this
how to
time
do
of
it.
year it's great because it's medicinal. Actually,
Yeah, that's right. That's
Because I
right.
was like,
in more ways than one.
I said that earlier. I was like, it's local honey. That's good for my allergies.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I have it in my coffee every morning for medicinal reasons.
Yeah.
Scott,
Not that I
we
like
need to
it.
do whiskey.
Yeah, we.
It's
no,
medicinal.
No,
It's medicinal.
It's a tonic.
That's what you tell your wife. You know.
Yeah.
It's good for hair growth.
I just want to bring it to everybody's attention that we went through a bottle before we even started the show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fuck.
Yeah,
that was
so-
actually pretty full when he showed up, and it's gone.
I didn't know until you just picked that up. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
Yep. It's gonna be one of those Mondays,
well,
boys.
hey. In our defense, it is 4:39.
oh. Central Time. We're past 5 o'clock.
That's
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
That's true.
5:39 in Florida. We're
Yeah,
great.
there you go. There you go. So
Can we
Steve,
fix anywhere but Florida?
Steve, how'd you get started into distilling, man?
All right, so so I've been doing it 16 years, 6 years legal.
Yeah.
I just got to throw that out there. But anyway, my wife bought me a beer in the
respect
box
that.
kit, right?
Sure.
Malted beer, and I brewed it. I'm like, man, this this is friggin' awesome. You know, I'm gonna go all in. I'm gonna make real beer. I'm gonna use grains and all. Friend of mine's got a distillery. Brewery. He just shut it down, but I bought his pilot system. It was a 30-gallon system. Started brewing or trying to brew 30 gallons of beer. Every time I screwed up, it was $100 down the drain. My wife's like, look, either you figure this out or you got to stop. You know, this is getting expensive. So
Mama don't like losing money, man.
Yeah. And so just kind of iterate.
Unless it's on shit they like.
That's right.
Then it's totally fair.
Well, she does love my apple pie. That's where I got her started.
Wow, we're getting personal.
Okay.
I even carbonate it, and it's like it's pretty awesome. But anyway,
wait.
Hold on.
I was about to say no king shaming.
Pause on your actual story, and we're going to talk about carbonated apple pie moonshine.
Yeah, and that was an accident too, because
That's a happy accident.
Yeah, happy wife, happy life, right?
Fucking happy anybody. Are you kidding me? I want to try that.
Fucking, I kind of want to be your wife.
All I need is that flannel, right? We have to watch it.
I'm telling you.
Fucking A.
Yeah, so I have a 6-tap kegerator, and she liked the apple pie, so I said, well, you know, I'll put it on tap for her. Well, it ended up carbonating because it was on tap with CO2, and it turned into like a wine cooler, and it was
a moonshine wine cooler.
Yeah,
this ain't your mama's Boone's Farm.
40 proof, you know.
I got your seltzer right here, fucker.
I need some of that for the river.
Fucking hey,
I had a lot of good nights after that, but anyway.
I bet.
Yeah, so started brewing beer, screwed up a lot, and finally she said, you got to stop. Well, I'm a mechanical engineer by trade. So
Weird flex, but all right.
Yeah, and I actually still have my day job. I'm not going to say names or anything, but I work for a company. We design and build separating equipment for refineries. So separation is what I do.
Sure.
So I'm like, I can build a still. So I built a still and started distilling my bad beer so that I could at least get the alcohol out. Come to find out, my bad beer makes good whiskey. So here we are.
So you essentially took something that you failed at, turned it into a success.
Yeah.
That's like literally.
That also sounded like the best divorce attorney ad I've ever heard.
All right.
I'm Steve.
She said I couldn't make
Separation
beer no more.
is what I do.
So your still that you made, is it like a pot still?
Yeah. So I started out literally with just a little 5-gallon still.
How many chambers?
No, it just a pot still, just straightforward pot still.
Old school,
Nice.
man.
That's not where he's at now.
Well,
That's
no.
where he started.
Oh no, yeah, that's where I started. I've got 200-gallon stills that we run now. One of them's just for vodka, and then the other one we call it Ma and Paul Kettle. Paul Kettle does all the work. It has 2 thump kegs. We run everything traditional.
Nice.
The old way.
And now, what a lot of people don't realize, and I've tried to explain this to multiple people over the years, is that every single alcohol, I don't give a fuck if it's bourbon, I don't give a fuck if it's gin, whatever, it starts as vodka.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And
Pretty
people
much.
don't it's a neutral spirit is what it starts as.
Kinda. So there's this weird mecca. So the government requires that vodka leaves the still at 190 proof or more.
Correct.
And then anything else falls in the classification of 160 proof or less. So there's this 30 proof area that nothing falls into. So like all the bourbons, everything have to leave the still below 160 proof. Mine comes off the still. The prime spot's about 138 proof.
Okay.
Is that where you pull the heart?
Yes. Yeah. And funny enough, my vodka, so I make a bathtub gin for my cigar lounge. It's not in a bottle or anything. I only make a gallon at a time. But on the vodka still, there's 1 quart, and they call it the distiller's cut, and it comes out and it tastes like bananas. And it's just a quart of
Yeah,
it.
it's wild. Some of the flavors that you'll get on the first pull.
Oh, yeah,
Some of the stuff because I've
Would you
been
say-
lucky enough
would you
to go
say
to
it's bananas?
It's yes and no.
Because it's
Sometimes
wild.
it
Because
is.
it's wild.
No pun intended.
Coming from the banana man.
Yeah, right.
Well, no. So I've been lucky enough to go through several bourbon distillers at this point because it's just my drink of choice, and I got fascinated with how it's made. And we've had this discussion on the show about it's one of the only like law protected drinks in the United States. It's a truly American beverage.
Yeah, it's
like,
our product.
It's that is other countries are known for certain things, and bourbon is an American spirit.
That's
like,
right.
That is,
That's
and
right.
it's
Aged for
regulated by law. The
It's
whole 9
aged
yards.
specifically for at least 100, a year and a day.
2
and
years. In a
2 years in a day. New charred white oak barrels. Yep.
It has to be at least 51% corn. There's all of the requirements that go into it.
Yeah.
And I've been lucky enough to go through several distilleries and timed it right to where I was there when they were doing new pulls. and I've gotten to taste some of the stuff that's fresh out of the still, like pre-heart, the early stuff before they actually start pulling what they're going to turn into. But the pre-heart white dog. And it's crazy. I've had stuff that tastes like cream corn. I've had stuff that's tastes. I mean, it's wild how wide it can
notes,
get.
all kinds of different stuff.
So when we were at your place, you had us put our finger in the.
That was the vodka. It was at 194 proof.
Yeah, and
it was delicious.
It did not taste 194 proof.
Yeah,
True clean vodka doesn't taste like shit. Like you can just, it's amazingly dangerous.
Well, and mine's not neutral, so I leave the flavor in it. So a lot of distilleries, you'll see 10 times distilled, 20 times. Mine's just one distillation. So there's flavor still in my vodka. So whenever people like, I like vodka, we're like, well, you want to try mine because it's not neutral. It's got flavor.
What sugar source are you using?
None. So it is literally my moonshine recipe just cleaned up.
Okay.
So it's a grain vodka. So it's like say, and
that potato vodka in your toilet shit, goddammit.
Right. Now, I do make a sweet potato moonshine. So speaking of potatoes, but yeah. So the vodka's, it's unique. I tell everybody, you got to try it first before you want to mix with it because it's got flavor. But what's cool is like you make a martini or something like that. Instead of just the olive juice being your flavor, you've got a spirit that has flavor.
So you get a little bit of a different kind of dirty martini when you roll it. Okay, I like that.
Yeah, and we haven't made it to the barrel aged yet, but that's my premium stuff. It's aged 2 years, but it's very unique. And if you're a bourbon drinker, whiskey drinker, or scotch drinker.
You mean that?
Yeah, we have.
You've had it, yes.
We've had it on the show, my friend.
Yeah. So you know what I'm talking about when I say it goes from a bourbon to a whiskey and it finishes like a scotch.
Yeah.
It's real unique. I should have called it universal whiskey. It just covers all realms.
There you go.
It's so nice to have the creator of the whiskeys that we've drank and talked about for multiple episodes.
Yeah.
Finally on the show.
Yeah, it's kind of cool, man. Like,
well, it's also nice to have a distiller on the show where the booze is good.
Because we had one time.
Uh-oh.
And he was...
It never aired.
It never aired.
Yeah, he wasn't the distiller.
No.
That's right.
No, he was just a rep, but even then, he was a rep of...
Dog shit.
Yeah. We never even put it out. Like, it was just like, all right, well, let's go record another episode.
We were also extremely hammered. Like...
We drank
we drink a lot. We gave the chance because we drank everything he brought.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, you know, and my stuff, I'm real particular. So I open top ferment. So everything in the area dictates my flavor.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Yeah, let's talk about that more.
That's something that's really unique to your brand, other than like aside from like your regular distilleries and whatnot. They don't do this. So can you explain that process?
Yes. So everything is made from scratch, and like we literally use rainwater. I mean, when you walk up to the distillery, you're going to see a big rainwater tank that says your drink starts here. Literally, it starts there. It's all made with rainwater, grains and sugar. I don't like any chemicals. There's no chemicals that go into that at all. It's all a natural process. But there's a 220-year-old pecan tree that shades the still house. And so when that thing goes into bloom, everything ends up with a little pecan flavor. So whatever's in our air at that time ends up in the spirit. I've got one barrel aged. I've got another one coming up pretty soon that we distilled it during the first 2 weeks of spring, and we got a lot of wild plums in that area. It comes out with a plum flavor at the end, just because of that. It's really good.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
See, it's great to talk. Like I've toured a lot of these things and stuff like that, and it's almost clinical in a lot of these places about how controlled everything
like
is.
Lab coats and clipboards. And
you know, the water comes in and then it's a triple osmosis reverse, filtration system and and all this craziness and stuff like that. So it's cool to talk to somebody that's kind of going like, we know the goal of what we want our standard bottle to taste like, but kind of depending on when it was bottled, it's going to have a bit of a signature that's kind of applied to it.
Well, and that's what's unique about us is everybody has learned that when they come in, so we dump 1 barrel a month. That's it. So we don't have a single barrel or reserve. Whatever we dump is what we get.
A lot of people don't realize that that's kind of a fucking gimmick.
Yeah.
In and of itself.
Yeah,
too.
It's a blending. You know,
that's what it is.
Yeah,
like,
they're pulling a batch number, and then all those barrels get reblended.
Yeah.
So you don't. The only time that you'll really taste that stuff is if somebody pays to get a hand select barrel, where they go and like, no, I want this one.
Like
that's it.
That's barrel 15. So I mean, my customers come in, they go, hey, what barrel are we on? Because they want to try it before they buy it, because each barrel is a little different. Depending on the year when we distilled it and what was going on in the environment.
That's real unique, man.
It's super unique.
And it just kind of like keeps your brand fluid too. Like keeps your product fluid.
It doesn't go stagnant. It's always it's always a little different.
That's really cool.
I dig the distilleries and even the breweries and stuff like that are running it almost like a wine vintage, where it's it's like, oh well, this is this year of this wine and
wild
stuff
brews,
like that.
And
but even a distillery being able
what
to have
what is this? Barrel 11?
I don't have my glasses. I can't see it.
Well, I'm assuming you signed it.
Yeah, that's 11. That's 11. I can see it now.
All right.
Yeah.
And then you're on 15 now.
Yeah, no, and like 15, normally I use a little bit of a barley for the enzyme effect, and it'll come through and give a Scotch finish. For some reason, 15 didn't give us that at all.
Heads are in the same spot. Yeah.
That's just a straightforward whiskey, and of course, 100 proof. I like high proof.
Are you doing a side by side?
Yeah, I want to taste some.
Yeah,
pass that down here when you're done.
Yeah, take a little sip and then pass that down.
Yeah, you'll see the difference. Hey, and here's a little unknown fact a lot of folks don't realize. So that's required to age 2 years in a barrel. That's the federal requirement. That's the classification
2
it's
years
in.
and a day.
Yeah, and so most folks don't realize, you see how dark my stuff is.
Yeah.
In Texas, for every year that we age in Texas, they rate it as 7 years in Kentucky.
Oh, wow.
So 2 years is
that
like
the climate change?
Right. We have so much movement in our climate. Now, the only reason you'll see some
That's
that
two
are
different whiskeys, man.
completely.
It's similar. Definitely similar.
Like,
but there's the finish
The
is very
finish
different.
is way like it's.
I think 11 has a little more Scotch finish
This is
to it.
11, and this is 15.
This is 11, and the color's a little different too. Like
Yeah.
15's a little darker than 11.
Well, you
See
can
that?
see that
That's
just in the
11.
bottle, just
So that's
from
11.
across the
No,
bottle.
that's
11.
15,
Oh, that 15?
and this
15.
is 11.
See, 11's still got that little Scotch finish to it, but
Yeah.
15 is just like, it's a whiskey. You know,
Yeah.
it's got that whiskey finish to it. So it's kind of cool. Like, see, so a 2-year aged whiskey in Texas is like a 14-year aged bourbon or whiskey in Kentucky or Tennessee.
Just because of the temperature
So this is the
differences.
11.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it fluctuates so much. So
Now with it being open air too, like you're getting everything pollen and dirt and everything that eventually adds to flavor and then is filtered out. But so that I'm sure is a difference between like Tennessee whiskeys and stuff too.
Oh, yeah,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? Like where like Tennessee whiskey, for instance,
Well, that's
is
wild.
does the Lincoln County process, you
Right.
know, where it's filtered through cherry maple,
Yep.
and which gives it that weird. I personally can't stand Jack Daniels, so
Right,
like,
right.
so like I think it tastes like dog
well,
shit.
and that's a sour mash. So
Yeah.
that is a whole different mash process.
Sure, but it still goes through that Lincoln County process,
Right.
not bourbon.
And I'm not it's not bourbon, and I'm not a fan of that. I'm much more of a fan.
If
of
any
stuff
of you
like
listening to this are fucking bartenders, and anybody comes in and tries to order something with bourbon, and you go like, "Well, I've got Jack," that's not fucking
yeah,
bourbon.
fucking punch yourself in the face.
Fired. You are fired.
Like,
Yeah.
take some pride in your craft. At least know that Jack Daniels isn't fucking bourbon.
You know, I'll order Bullet bourbon over anything else, and it's an inexpensive.
I
But
like
it's,
bourbon.
and Bullets-
Yeah, I like
yeah,
Bullets
Bullets
all right.
solid.
Yeah. I mean, it's
Bullets one of my go-to old-fashioned
yeah,
bourbons.
yeah. It's just
Oh,
a great
in
all-around bourbon.
old-fashioned.
That's what I made our old-fashions
Yeah.
on the show with. Yeah.
What's that? I think it's their rye, their green label.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes a
behind that.
fucking
I get
phenomenal
behind
old-fashioned.
that.
Yeah.
Do you guys have a rye?
No, man, it's because I end up with a little rye finish in some of my stuff.
Fair.
I am looking at doing a rye. A rye is a pain in the neck.
Yeah, it's a much different process.
Teach
yeah.
us the pro. What's
What's the difference between
I-
doing a bourbon and a rye?
Well, okay, so a rye, when it ferments, it'll, in our environment, if I do it during the summer, that sucker will foam over. It just goes nuts. It
Is it
has
'cause of
all
the heat.
Well, no, it's all the nutrients come available for the yeast, and the yeast just goes gaga.
Yeah.
I mean, and so it can be done, but you have to use, here again, chemicals to hold back that a defoamer, and I don't like any of that because I've learned through the years that it gives a by taste.
You can't put just like a wooden spoon on top like you do with a pot of water.
Oh no! So don't get me wrong. I did a rye once, and my wife will tell you all about it. We spent 4 hours in the distillery scraping the foam off and trying to get it down the drain. It was a mess. So, yeah. Because I refused to do a defoamer, and
There you go.
man, it went nuts. It's
Just
kind of
wipe your
crazy.
nose and then
Right.
every frat dude on the planet knows that.
right.
That's funny. Like, hey, who's in the bar? I need you in here real quick. Just do this. Just wipe your nose.
And, and the bummer is, I wish I was a chemical engineer, because on that end of it, the chemical engineers go nuts. They're like, oh yeah, because it's this and this and this that are doing it. Where most of the guys that are in the beer world or the distilling world are chemical engineers because they want to know the makeup of that mash.
Sure.
But I'm a mechanical engineer. I can tell you how to separate it. So, and so separation is what I do. And I mean, not to toot my own horn, but I guess I'm pretty good at it.
So
at it. Yeah, man.
I want to talk about your place real quick.
Yeah.
So you guys are out of Bastrop, Texas.
Yeah.
And
Which is a gorgeous area.
and the reason that we met is you guys are also have a cigar lounge.
Yeah.
And
Very nice one.
A very nice one. And if you guys ever get
Which
a chance,
we've talked about on the show a few times.
Yeah. If you ever get a
Warfighter's
chance,
done events up there.
yeah. If you ever get a chance to go to Copper Shot in Bastrop, it is a good time.
Yeah. I mean, you're going to come into some the oldest building I have was built in 1838?
And that's where your distillery is.
After the Alamo.
Yeah. You know,
That's
Bastrop.
House.
Very suspect after the Alamo.
Yeah. Right. Supposedly Stephen F. Austin stepped foot in there at one time, you know.
There
So
you
you know,
go.
hey, it originally started out as a
How
firehouse.
mad do you think he is looking down and seeing what his namesake city looks like?
He probably digs it.
He's
You know,
probably
you're
like, fuck.
we finally got a distillery.
Why do I
all
gotta
right.
be named? Why did the weird place got to be named after me?
Right. No, the property, there's a ton of history. All the buildings are old historical buildings, and where my cigar lounge is actually in a 2-story building where the firefighters lived. They lived upstairs, and the horses were stabled below. You can actually see the cutout in the floor where the fire pole was. My footrest at the bar is actually the fire pole from out of that building.
That's
Yeah,
And then being a mechanical engineer that he is,
Well, he repurposed his shit.
his decor in the
it's all
cigar
steam.
lounge.
It's steampunk. Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah. My
that's really cool.
evacuator, we call them the Dr. Sousaphones. They hang out over the building and they suck the smoke out and send it up the old fire flue.
Get the fuck
Yeah,
out.
It's awesome.
That's awesome,
Yeah.
man. I got to
It-
make it up there. I got to go check that place out.
Well, I need to go.
We did
Road trip?
My birthday
trip.
last year was a Placencia event,
Yeah.
and out of all the things that I could have chosen to do on my birthday, I was like, "Fuck it, we're going to Copper Shot."
We make sure they were good and loaded.
And it just so happened somebody else is having a birthday
Wait,
too.
these guys? What?
No, somebody else is having a birthday too, so there's a cake there.
Oh,
it wasn't
that's
even
right.
for me, but there's a cake.
Yeah. So he had his cake and eat it too.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
That's
But-
awesome,
and then
man.
you have your bar up front,
Right.
and then you have like a prohibition style bar,
In the cigar lounge. So
which is where the good drinks are.
All these.
Yeah.
So what are we drinking actually?
Yeah.
So these are old fashions like we make in the back prohibition bar. So like up front, you get a 1.5 ounce pour, you get a fast made old fashioned with simple syrup and all that. In the back bar, we'll actually take a raw sugar cube and we muddle it, and we take club soda. We make a true old fashioned.
That's how I roll mine. Yeah.
So it's a true old fashioned back there, and it's a 2 ounce pour, so it's a prohibition pour. So
Now, what I enjoy about this is that you didn't add any kind of sugar because you just used the
honey.
You
Yeah.
use the honey whiskey in this, and then you drop 3 Luxardos in there, which adds some more sweetness to it, just
Right.
because the syrup that's in the Luxardo cherry. And then when you express the orange peel. And like to be honest, like it was kind of cool. This guy came prepared. Like he showed up with a kit. He's got a kit,
An
and it's got
old-fashioned-
like this
an
got
old-fashioned kit.
some Luxardos in it. It's got like some orange peels, like pre-peeled
A
in it and
muddler.
stuff, like a muddler and shit, a spoon. Like I mean, he was ready. So
Yeah, I'm about to update my go bag.
Right. I got my humidor
We
and
can
my
help you with that.
old fashioned kit
And a knife.
and some ammo.
and my call sign's supposed to be EDC. What the fuck?
You're fucking up,
I'm
bud.
fucking up, man. So what I appreciate about this drink, and as the listeners know, and you guys here at the bar know, like I spent a long time as a bartender, and I did craft bartending for a long time. And I make a fucking hell of an old fashioned. Like it's one of my favorite drinks, and you know how
if it's made right.
you know how it is. Like if
Once
if
you bartend long enough, you take pride in it.
Yeah.
well, if you meet a bartender that likes a drink, that's his best drink.
Yep.
And I would venture to say that, and Jazz will back me up on this because he gave it one of the greatest like descriptions of any drink ever made. Like old fashioned's kind of my drink, right?
Yeah.
Like I make a fucking mean old fashioned.
It's okay.
Yeah. I believe it was if a taste could imbibe the taste of freedom and bald eagles.
It's a good old fashioned.
See episode 2. I
So
believe.
see, if you come down, I'll put you behind the bar and say, make an old
I'll make one for you, man. Yeah, I'll give it a whirl.
Oh, now we're going.
Because it seems right. Because it seems like you got all the right shit. But
Because I heard it's a topless bar, so
Tapas.
That would be fun.
Tapas.
That's way different.
Yeah, I don't want to go as much now.
But I will tell you, man, what
on
you've
the
done
taco
here
here.
is impressed an old fashioned fan. So I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
And you only tried one version of it.
Yeah. So you also have the pecan version.
Yeah, I'm
What'd
curious.
you call that?
Pecan?
Pecan.
It's pecan, man.
And not pecan. Pecan's what you have in the truck on a long road trip. It's a pecan.
The pecan. Oh, that's fucking great.
I get everybody. They come in with that.
I
I want some of that pecan shot. I'm like, dude, what?
That's my Midwest in me here. So.
I was like, you want me to go out to the truck then?
I prefer a Gatorade lid because the mouth's big enough.
Yeah,
Kidding me? I could get that shit in a Red Bull can.
That's just because you're gifted.
Through a straw.
Through a straw.
It's because you're Korean.
See the last episode.
Fuck.
Well, so the pecan shine. Now,
By the way,
let you know that is a whiskey.
Okay.
So I hate the title of it. Oh, he's getting ready to go with something. I see it getting ready to roll out.
Oh fuck. No, I'm laughing about. We had a lot of feedback on our clip about this fake Korean dude. Anyway, it was funny.
I'm missing out.
It was an inside joke.
There's
from
essentially
last show.
a guy we talked about last show who wants to cut part of his dick off so
What?
that he is right.
That's as far as you got. He was already like,
I'm like, wait a minute.
This dude's just bragging.
like he wants to cut part of his dick off because his dick is longer than the average Korean person's dick.
Because he wants to do enough.
And so he's a white guy who lives
English
in the UK.
white guy.
Lives in the UK who identifies as a Korean, and he wants to cut part of his dick off.
and he's done
so
all
that
this
he's
bo-
100% Korean.
because he's transracial.
and he's done
Some
all this
shit.
other body surgery to make
Yeah,
him look
it's like
Korean.
Yeah.
250 grand in surgeries.
I'm telling you, dude, in 50 years, we're all going to be chicks. Like everybody.
Damn, man. Dude,
The funny thing is, it's $250,000 later, and what he looks like is a Wish.com Michael Jackson. Like
That's fucking real, man. That's,
I didn't fucking order this.
I'm like, I don't know of any woman that'd take less,
well,
I don't know if this dude's
Dude.
really worried about a woman being into it.
I
see.
just think it's a weird flex. Like,
right?
you know,
I gotta cut a couple
How do you
inches
use that
off.
word?
I've never been in the
so
position where I'm
very-
like, I've got too much dick. Bro. I need to get rid of some of this.
Not all of
It's
it.
never been a problem for me.
just part of it.
I mean, who's he asking? Hey,
I don't know. They are non-binary, apparently.
That's just wrong.
Yeah.
So let's get back to whiskey.
Yeah. Anyways, this old fashioned is pairing very, very well with this Warfighter 556 Corojo that I'm on. So, boys, I'll caveat that into a little segue. What are we smoking on?
The 556, but I have a copper shot stave infused 556.
I'm doing the same thing.
And I have to admit that after some age on them,
They're
it is
fucking good.
way better than the round of one that I
'cause the
had.
first
They
time
throw
you
it with
had
the
it.
whiskey at the same
Jazz,
time.
so
Yeah.
when you infuse cigars this way, they get really wet.
Very.
And then you have to acclimatize them. Sorry, wrong fucking word.
Acclimate.
Acclimate.
He's getting all technical.
Acclimatize.
Orientate.
You got to bring them back down to the correct humidity.
What was Scott's word?
Oh, he was
Relevant.
malevolent.
Benevolent.
Yeah.
It's a benevolent cigar.
You got to bring them back down to a proper humidity level, and it takes some time.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, they decided not to
So,
give me that time.
I think Jazz showed up. It might have been the day or the day after we cracked.
We broke the seal.
We broke the seal on the
Yeah.
aging process. And I mean, you could almost squeeze these and have whiskey.
You're like,
come out.
oh,
yeah.
And so I was like, here,
You're scared
try
the light
this.
is going to flame up.
I came in, I was like, hey, I'm just here to get a cigar. And he was like, try this.
Yeah,
and he
it-
cracked this thing, and I was like, it's a little squishy, man. He was like, yeah, just give it a shot. See how it's
sucking
doing.
a McDonald's milkshake through a
Oh
straw.
my god!
And it had a bad aftertaste.
Oh, it was awful.
It was just booze with a hint
Yeah.
of cigar.
Yeah.
now,
it was burnt booze.
Now though,
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
it's the taste of the Corojo, but there's a little bit of sweetness from the fact that
Oh, you can totally taste the whiskey.
You know what I
in
like?
this.
Shout out to you there, John, because I noticed that you gave each one of us our own favorite like brand.
Oh, you're welcome.
Our own favorite blend, like because I have 762 Field, which is my my go-to on the show. He got his 5.56, as did you. He got his 7.62 Garrison.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool. But
It's not bad.
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
I see what you did.
You know, if I want the right feedback, I give you the right product.
Yeah,
So,
right.
yeah, all you people out there that can't get this, be jealous.
Yeah, right. I haven't even smoked mine yet. I'm going to though.
It's fucking
Just know that's happening.
But I don't know. Maybe in a couple months they might be available.
At Copper
Yeah,
Shop.
yeah. We want to do a label.
Go to
program.
Bastrop.
Working on some stuff.
So a little Bastrop, Texas action for you.
I brought you a 30-gallon
I got a good friend who owns
I know.
trash can.
Actually,
full.
I have a good friend who owns a bar there.
Yeah.
I have a good buddy of mine of ours
yeah.
actually owns a bar there in Bastrop.
Which one?
The Bastrop Beer Company.
Oh, yeah.
My buddy Brandon
Okay.
owns that. And,
Yeah, I
know he's your
always see
buddy.
his wife,
our
Heather.
buddy. Yeah.
Heather, yeah. She's
know a
always
true
right.
guy.
Yeah.
Selfish
Yeah.
as fuck.
Yeah.
We haven't seen him in a while though, Brandon.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brandon.
You got off social media for a while.
I
'cause-
think he got
I think
No, he got
I think
jailed
I
for
think he
a
got
while.
banned for a while. That is an opinionated man right there.
Yeah.
Too verbal, huh?
Little on the verbal side.
You know
I
what
was
it
with
was?
him one time.
You know,
me and him got kicked out of fucking what the hell's that restaurant in La Cantera? The
Kona.
Kona. We got kicked out of Kona Grill together. and he decided, he's like, I'm gonna live stream it on TikTok. Jesus.
A little rebel
you know,
in him.
though Brandon disappeared from social media right after he shaved all of his fucking beard off.
Well, there's a
Like,
reason.
it was a coincidence. Like
When he had a beard, nobody reported shit. When he shaved, it's like, look at this fucking idiot.
right,
Yeah, right?
Who is
Because
this?
shaved, he kind of looks like he's going to touch your kids. Like it's,
Yeah. He just looks like a
not a
tattooed
good
asshole.
look. Yeah.
When he's got a beard, I don't know, his mustache is amazing.
And when he has a
It's pretty
beard and a mustache, it's legit. But when it's not, he's just like a neck-tatted pedophile. Like, it's bad.
and this is our friend.
Yeah. Like, he needs to never shave again.
Love you, buddy.
I fucking love that guy.
Yeah,
Fucking
because
love
he
him.
kind of looks like he's going to tell you that band you like he saw live 10 years ago before you knew who they were. And
And that is the tattooed dad on TikTok.
yeah.
I'm sure
I think it's like the tattoo dad 14 at this point. For the amount of shit he's got pulled.
Hey, now figure this out. His wife's got a humidor in our cigar lounge, but he doesn't.
Oh,
That makes sense.
That
Yeah,
makes sense.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
I believe it.
Heather's got the humidor down
Well,
there.
she's cool.
Speaking of humidors, you guys just upgraded everything at your place.
Yeah, full walk-in.
So you got a full walk-in. You expanded the lounge also, right?
Oh, yeah.
You knocked down the wall to make everything bigger. You guys still have the bar where it was at.
Yeah,
So the
yeah.
Prohibition bar is still there, but now you have a full walk-in
Yep.
and more seats.
Yep,
Good air filtration.
Great outdoor fucking
Great outdoors.
space.
You guys have
Yeah.
bands.
Yeah, every Friday and Saturday
Yeah.
night, live music.
You got
yeah.
all the bar. They got the ring toss game. The little,
which I will never play you in ever.
Why not?
Fuck you. You ever want to lose money or get fucking hammered? Play fucking John and ring
as
toss game.
Kibby and Lavely about.
Oh, I'm well
that. I
aware.
destroyed those boys.
I've seen videos of that.
You
It's not
destroyed
good.
me in it.
No, the competition
tabletop
one you
one.
gave me.
Yeah.
The first time, like I fucked around with it every once in a while. Like, okay, cool, yeah, it works. You know, this is fun. The first time it actually got like used, actually it got abused,
Jameson fucking broke mine.
was when Kibby and Lavely were down here right around Christmas time.
Yeah.
And I had a fucking 175 at JMO. And we went out to lunch at Krause's. We fucking had 2 liters of fucking German beer. Went back to the house and it was like, it's game time. So we went out back and just started cranking music, lighting cigars, and playing this game. And these poor boys. I think I might have lost one game the entire night. The
In all
loser had to
fairness,
do
though,
shots.
those two are like functionally retarded. So I
So-
don't know if like that's a,
But
like a
this,
huge.
this is how seriously it got.
Kibby's functionally retarded. I don't think Lavely's functionally.
This is how serious.
You know what? I stand corrected. You are correct, sir.
So Kibby leaves. He goes home, and not even 5 days later, I get a fucking text from him of a picture. He built his own one.
He said he was.
Yeah, and he's like,
So-
wait till the next time I get down
The
there.
the night we all went out and closed the bars down when they crashed at my place.
Yeah.
Let me rephrase. When they passed out at my place. Okay, and we ended up playing it. Tabletop one. There was a 4-way one at Bar House there in Shirts.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's a little 4-way one, and we're all fucking forward doing it and shit. And I beat him once. But yeah, he fucking smoked me consistently though, because he's not.
We had
he's,
good practice.
He's no slouch at it, man.
We played that thing for like 5 hours
Yeah,
straight.
he's good. He
And
knows what he's doing.
that's when they went swimming in like 55-degree
Yeah,
pool.
it was yeah.
See, they went swimming in 55-degree water at your place.
Yeah.
After my place, we went riding a fucking one-wheel down the street at 30 miles an hour like assholes. Yeah.
These are both situations where I got videos afterwards and was totally glad I turned down this invite.
I was in Nebraska. Otherwise, I would have been.
You would have been in the
I
pool.
would have been in the pool.
I would love to see you on that one-wheel with them, dude.
So
I
is
ate
that
shit
like
in
the
middle of my
Texas
street.
version of the polar plunge?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Actually, Scott holds the record at my house for the Texas version of the polar plunge. It
Now-
was New Year's, Christmas or New Year's?
Christmas Eve,
Christmas Eve 2 years ago. And my pool was, I don't know, 40.
50.
It was 50. I think it was colder than that. I think it was like 46 or 48. Either way, it is way too cold to get in.
Cold enough that your balls are going to
now-
tuck up
yeah,
their
yeah.
fucking butthole and leave.
In my defense, we were in his hot tub.
Yes.
So I
It
went
was
from
pretty hot.
I went from the hot tub to the pool.
was like 103
very shocking.
48.
But then I got instantly back into the hot tub.
Yeah,
Is that
Bradley
what you
just
call
got
a
in the
hot-
pool and
hot
then
mess?
threw up into a pot.
He did. No, he threw up into my butt can. So I have a big ass metal
yes.
thing.
Like a
where I take-
spittoon.
no, it's like the
a
ice
cigar
bucket,
butt,
but
but
bigger.
yeah.
And I dump all my ashtrays in it to let them all cool before I throw them in my trash can because I don't want to set my house on fire.
As you do.
He grabs that, lifts the lid up, and that alone will let you call dinosaurs.
Yeah, just the smell.
He
yeah.
opens that up and he's just got his face in it for like 10 minutes. And I'm like, bro, like if you take your head out, you'll stop puking.
But all you got is cigar ash and puke hitting your system.
It's
so
so bad.
But again, like I said, not functional.
Functional, yeah.
Like just a
Oh,
reread.
man. But yeah, so I've known Scott for 22 years now. When he jumped in that pool, I heard a sound come out of Scott that I've never heard before in my life. And him and I deployed together.
Something close to a girl.
Yeah.
I don't even know. It was,
Well, my balls jumped up into my stomach, so it was something similar to that.
Hey, y'all are running low. We're gonna have to get our
Yeah, man.
our
Where's-
drink girl over
Where's
here.
the drink girl at? Yeah.
Speaking of the drink
so
girl,
who is the drink girl?
Travis, introduce yourself.
I'm Travis.
Travis, what do you
Travis,
do
the
for
drink
Copper
girl.
Shot?
I do all the cigar inventory, getting the new brands in, and making sure that we're all stocked up on the humidor so everybody can come in and enjoy their cigars.
And so, if you guys are underground people, Travis is the one that was up there and did the event with us, and it was a great time. But he's the one that gave everybody booze up there.
I'm gonna try that pecan in an old fashioned, man.
I will
hey,
try whatever you want to make.
Did y'all have some sugar? The sugar? He
Yeah,
said-
we do.
Yeah, because he's gonna have to do it the old way. Let's see how his muddling skills work.
Oh, here we go.
I mean, we got mixing glasses over there if you need them. I don't know.
So how many different bottles do you make?
I got 11 different types,
11 different.
but I only have 9 on the shelf because the whole industry's got a bottle shortage right now.
Okay.
Yeah, so I actually make a true Caribbean run blackstrap molasses rum.
Well, you can reuse this one.
Right? Well, you know where I screwed up. So my rum and my coffee liqueur that I make with the rum, I changed the bottle to a flip top bottle. I want it to look like something that washed up on the shore. I can't get the stupid bottles. So
See, that's what I need to know. Is that like a growler program? Like if I buy a bottle of Copper
Yes.
Shot, could I like bring it to you?
Yes.
And just
Like
get
a
it
growler,
refilled?
like a growler.
That's what I said, like a growler program.
Yeah.
So like I buy a bottle of Copper Shot and then I can come to the distillery and just be like, it's okay,
Absolutely.
just refill this one.
yeah, absolutely. So COVID gave us that. It's awesome. So that helped us a lot on our bottles. So you can come in with the bottle. We can refill the bottle with whatever product you want in there.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, we'll wax
He
it.
was making a joke, and I'm into it.
I
I wasn't making a
guess-
joke. I was hoping he was going to say yes.
So I've got $10 in packaging. So when you do that, you save $10 on the cost.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So
Sweet,
and
sweet.
we'll wax it and seal it. So you got a
Thank you,
sealed
sir.
container when you leave.
So
Yeah,
we'll have
so
like
awesome.
4 empty bottles.
I was say by the end of this show, we're going to
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah,
need
yeah.
refills.
Y'all be ready.
Well, boys, we're going to Bastrop this weekend or what?
Fucking apparently.
Yeah.
Oh, that's different.
Now, so that pecan shine. So, story behind that. It's actually a whiskey. I take my whiskey and I run it over the roasted pecans from that 220-year-old pecan tree. No joke. But the government wouldn't give me the whiskey title because I didn't age it on the pecan wood. I aged it on the nut. And I battled that for 6 months.
I aged lots of things on the nut.
Right?
Like,
I tried to myself, you know.
That's when you just like, look, I'm not cutting down this 200-something-year-old tree to age it on the wood. I'm just going to use the nuts that come off.
What if you just like had a little bit of a branch that fell off?
Well, but I tried that. I aged it on the
Jesus
wood.
fucking
break it, don't
Christ.
Don't worry about that.
I actually
we
aged
had
it.
another drunk guest that broke it.
Yeah, it happens. No, I actually aged it on the wood, and it tasted like you were biting the shell. It was so bitter. It was terrible.
Yeah.
So I went back to aging. So I'll actually roast the pecans. And the only reason I roast the pecans is to get the oil out of them. Otherwise, you'll have a little oily sheen on it. But that's the only reason I roast them is get that out of there.
Well, that is a unique
That's what I
tasting
want. I want some
drink,
fucking
man.
dirty
Sure.
pecan.
Yeah, and it finishes
Yeah.
with that pecan. That's what you're going to have on your palate. Yeah, it's 6 months battling the government on it, and I finally said, "Hey guys, I got to get a label on this. What can I call it?" And they go, "Well, you do a lot of moonshines. Call it a shine." I was like, "Fine, pecan shine it is."
there you go.
It's there's like almost a cinnamon clove like smell to it.
But that's the bitters that he dropped in there. That,
Yeah, but I mean, it was like
Yeah.
mixed with this thing is. Oh, that's phenomenal.
yeah, it's unique.
Son of a bitch.
I'm okay with that. That's
Mm-hmm.
I thought the honey one was dangerous. I think this one's worse.
See, the pecan one is
That is
good, but I
fucking
have to
good,
say
man.
that personally, I prefer the honey.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like saying,
I'm not mad at either of them.
I'm not. No, I would be okay if anybody handed me one.
Yeah.
Either way,
Yeah.
but if I was to come to the distillery and order one,
Yeah,
So
I personally would probably order the honey.
honey.
what's in this one?
Yeah, how'd you make this, Travis?
Teabagged it.
no, you got to get up to the mic. dude.
You're talking to the microphone, buddy. It's an audio show.
It's made the same way as the honey, only with pecan.
Well, that explains so much.
So it's literally an old fashioned, but with the pecan.
But I didn't tell him how to.
So
Pecan.
What's the pecan?
It's got the.
Pecans probably don't taste like
We
this.
didn't bring any
No
simple syrup,
pecan,
so we
there
used
you
some
go.
regular sugar, and I muddled the sugar with the bitters. And
I'm
the
still in the
pecan.
truck.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say that shit every time now, man.
You're gonna set the bottle up there just so you can say it right.
Dude,
See,
pecan shine.
This is what I love about Texas, right? How'd you make that? Oh, same way as the other one, but just different whiskey.
He's not wrong, though.
He's not wrong.
He's not fucking
He's
wrong.
100% right.
Everybody wanted this beautiful description. He was like, same way as the one you just fucking had. It's just got a different whiskey in it. Like,
What's the problem,
the
dude?
fuck, man?
I love it.
Of course, everything's high proof too. So as you'll find out here, but
But if you listen to the way he's even described his distilling process, he's like, I make it just like my other shit. I just put it over fucking pecan so it can't be called bourbon. And it's like, yeah, fucking A. Like, it's
His
fucking,
description is how do you make this? He's like, well, I tried making beer and fucked it up, so I made whiskey instead.
that's the same story
Here
I
we
got
are.
beforehand. He was like, I wanted to make beer, but I fucked that all up. My wife said, figure it the fuck out. So I decided to make whiskey. Turns out bad beer makes good whiskey.
there
And I
we
was
go.
like,
So Texas honey is 100 proof. We have the
That's the that's the barrel age. If
Barrel
it has a
aged-
ribbon on it, it's barrel aged.
yep, that's the 100 proof.
all I know is y'all can learn something now and be like, what's the difference between
rapper
the
died.
762
Yeah, I
and the 556? And be like, well, it's pretty much the same cigar. We just changed the wrapper. And just be like, well, fuck. Or like,
How's it made? The same way the rest of them are?
yeah, like,
They're all rolled the
Rolled on
same
the
way.
fucking-
they're rolled on a table and put in a mold.
They're
and
rolled
then
on the
we-
thighs of virgins, goddamn it.
Hand,
Same
hand
girl
rolled by
rolls
tiny
it.
brown hands on the thighs of virgins.
I like that. I'm not to use
You
it.
know,
I love,
used
That's
to
the
use
big
that-
myth
we
about
used to
Cuban
use it.
cigars. They're only rolled on the thighs of virgins.
We used to use it all the time, and then we had a couple people write in that weren't happy about it.
Right?
Yeah.
what are you looking at, fucker?
So this just started. Rue Sit on My Lap started about 4 episodes ago.
Yeah. And now
And-
it's every time he's here, that's just his spot during the show.
But the reason it started the first show is because normally they eat by 5 or 6 o'clock. And it was about that time we were recording. So he's like, hey, don't forget about me. And so that's how it started. Now, I mean, like today, we didn't even start recording. And he's like, fuck it.
Yeah, we
Climb
sat
it
down to
up.
record. He was like,
I'm
"It's
all
enough
in."
time."
You put that headset on, he's like, "Up,
he's
I
like,
know
oh,
me."
must be close to dinner time. Shit.
Stomach's growling.
Now, do you know why you can tell that the rolled on the thighs of virgins thing is a total myth about Cuban cigars?
No.
You ever met a Cuban virgin?
No.
That shit ends about 12.
Right.
They're all
So-
like locked in a fucking cigar fucking shop.
And there's only
apparently.
like 14 Cubans left in that country, so it's not like they can. Like,
wow, that's
it's good.
Oh, yeah, you'll like it.
smells.
Yeah, it does well.
It goes
So
great
much
with
different.
And the
dude.
thing is
With
that
the
I
whiskey.
actually
Yeah, later.
nothing against Copper Shop, but I'm not a big fan of infused cigars. Like it just doesn't do it. I like the taste of tobacco. This though, I could
Bless you.
I can get behind this. This isn't bad. Like,
Hey,
and this is
your heart started again.
Yeah, right.
I smoke more of this cigar than probably any other cigar on the planet, and
Yeah.
I'd
confirm.
keep this in rotation.
Yeah.
Like, this is pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
We got to work on that label thing. Man.
Well, I'm glad we're going to get the opportunity to do more of them.
Yeah,
me too.
I think it's gonna be fun.
We did them just to see if we could,
Yeah.
and to see how they turn out.
I'll volunteer for QC on
Yeah.
both the cigar and whiskey side.
Well,
I'm happy to.
we did QC at one of the most brutally honest places to do QC at. We did the event with you guys, Copper
Yeah,
Shot,
yeah.
the
So that job
underground
is taken, sir.
in Fort Worth, and so we brought the cigars up there. So the promo cigars for
That's
the event
Happy
were the
Hooker over
infused
here.
ones. And so we got great feedback from guys that like their life revolves around smoking
Cigars
cigars.
is it. Yeah.
If it wasn't good, we would have heard about
We
it.
would have heard immediately like
Yeah.
this is a fucking dog turd. But
I'm not gonna
sorry.
lie, it's one of the best fringe benefits of being friends with the Warfighter boys. Is that you walk in here and they're like, "Hey, we need you to taste these and tell us what you think." And I'm like, "Okay,
Yeah.
I'll take that bullet for you, boys. No problem."
Now you want to know what? So the way that started is what we called polishing a turd. We would take some bad cigars and we'd put them in with a stave, barrel age them, and now we could smoke.
Oh,
the
I
damn
thought you were
thing.
about to tell me the gateway to being able to quality test your bourbon. And I was like, "You have my undivided attention, sir."
No, but I mean, not to knock it. We're like, hey, what if we take a good cigar and put it in there? What would it be like? And here we are.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think y'all tried some of the polished
Oh, wow.
turds.
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's not bad.
Wow, that
The
is different,
sweet
man.
is subtle enough that I can still taste my cigar. I can still taste my, which y'all make a lot of good cigars, but this show is very well aware of my preference in the Warfighter lineup.
Real.
You're a big fan of that Corojo action.
I can still taste my cigar. It's just got that added sweetness and subtlety and stuff. Like it's not overpowering. It's not like these other ones that come in the glass tubes and
Yeah.
shit. That it's just like,
Yeah.
wow, that's
See,
bad
we
whiskey
won't
with
say
a
any
hint
names,
of tobacco.
I'm gonna
Y'all all
go,
know what I'm fucking talking about. A
No,
glass tube,
not the one
wax
with the
seal.
red wax
Yeah,
on it.
it's not that.
I'm gonna go
I mean, I'm
with a
just saying.
different assessment, man. This completely changed.
Yeah.
Oh no, it
The
changes the
762.
cigar, but
Yeah.
I can taste
Like
my
The
cigar.
base is still there.
right. Like
Yeah.
the foundation of
Mi-
what
Mikey-
I love is still there.
Let me get your tasting notes on that. What
this
is that?
is it is. I'm hitting vanilla,
Yeah.
like high vanilla, man. Like
Yeah.
like you know when you like go down to Mexico and you buy the big fancy bottle of like cooking
I
vanilla.
don't know. He's getting kind of glassy eyed.
Yeah.
That's your fault.
That was
Those are the
earlier.
old fashions.
Like it is, dude. This is
It's good. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and
It's
ask:
like a
is there another
chocolate-covered
one?
cherry.
Is there another one of these?
Yeah, they're in the top Pelican right there.
So, do you know what I actually want to do?
Huh.
I want to have this with an espresso
Ooh, that'd be fucking phenomenal.
because I think the sweetness and everything that I'm picking up from the copper shot infusion,
Oh my
Right.
god.
and then
Right?
the flavors that I
No, he wasn't
crazy.
kidding. This is
Yeah.
way different than here, try mine.
like that is fucking way different.
This
man.
is like a vanilla wafer.
Really?
Oh my god.
Oh yeah,
No,
Wait a minute,
no
Dude,
trail
that's
mix in your
really
mouth.
good, but motherfucker,
Yeah, that is
We're
a
sharing-
vanilla
A
wafer.
vanilla wafer in your mouth.
we're sharing COVID right now. Like that is
here pass this down to Mikey.
Holy shit.
right,
Right?
Hey, we doing a
Like,
puff give or
The
what?
the 762 field on that is
That's fucking insane.
that's weird, man.
Y'all don't want mine because I chew the shit out of it.
Well, I like jazzes too. I like that a lot.
It's all jazzed up.
So it's those same notes, but it's got the spice from the
Yeah.
from the
Corojo,
Corojo in
yeah.
it.
Like I can still taste Corojo. That though,
No,
That's-
so
that's
mine
totally-
started like that. Mine's hotter now, so it's got more of the Corojo. Mine started like this, and that's why I'm like, I'd really like to have this with like a fucking just a double espresso
yeah. Oh yeah.
and this. But starting, it had that same thing. That raw vanilla bean
here, baby.
sweetness was in
You,
there.
you need my espresso.
Yeah.
I make a coffee liqueur, a Texas pecan coffee liqueur, espresso with
Wait.
Yeah.
Steve, I'm gonna have to correct
Dude,
you.
I
It's
was already-
espresso.
Yeah, there's no X, buddy.
Come from Captain Pecan over here.
Espresso.
Just say it again.
Espresso.
Espresso. There's no
Espresso.
X.
Oh,
Espresso.
espresso.
X.
Espresso.
So you can
We're even now.
no, you can have an X.
But it's got to have a little pun to go with it, you know.
You can have an
to work on that
espresso.
one.
You can have an espresso with your pecan whiskey.
It's an espresso on the way out.
Damn pecan.
On the way in, it's an
Yes.
espresso.
I need to go to the truck and get
But
this pecan
otherwise, it's an espresso with pecan whiskey.
Mikey, I am very proud of you. I just want
He's
to let
come
you know.
so far.
He really fucking has. I remember way back in the early
so
episodes.
far.
I'm
I was
like, what are
like,
you smoking? He's
oh,
like,
cigar.
oh, it tastes good.
When this show started, it was like, what are you smoking? He was like, made out of tobacco.
Now, to be fair, I've recently quit smoking cigarettes too.
Oh, so you're.
Oh, so
yeah,
you can
my
actually
taste
taste
buds, my
things.
taste buds are back. So
To be fair, that wasn't that long ago.
that's and
It's
I
long
did,
enough.
I did smoke this weekend on the hunting trips.
I think I sent you a message.
It's in the field, it doesn't count.
I think I sent you a message like 4 or 5 days ago. I literally woke up. So I had COVID back in October, and it put me down for like 15 days.
Yeah, he got it bad.
Damn.
Yeah.
And I couldn't taste shit. We actually did a tasting experiment on the show,
was
and they were just
great.
handing me random booze, and they were like, "What is that?" And
It
I was
wasn't
like,
even good. It
I was like, I didn't-
Goldschlager
yeah.
and this horrible fucking scotch
I
we
couldn't
have.
taste fuck all. Like
Hey,
I couldn't taste
I
anything.
went through that. It sucks.
And I got some of it back, and it was about 50%. I woke up the other day, and it was like somebody just turned the switch back on.
And you're
it
like,
was
hello.
like,
oh, like, babe, go shower.
do you know how I noticed it? I got up and I'm laying in bed, and my wife is already in the bathroom.
Caitlin probably fucking crop dusted it, but he's like, what the fuck?
No, it was actually she was
I got
already
away
getting
with
ready
this
for
for
the
months.
day, and I'm sitting there, and I was like, "Fuck, what is she bathing in perfume? Like, what the fuck?" And then I realized it was like, no, I can actually just fucking smell it now. Like everything was just so toned down, but. So now, like everything that I'm tasting again, it's like the first time all over, and I'm like, which is awesome for somebody that.
Dude,
Oh yeah. You
That's
know,
fucking
I
awesome.
fucking love this.
Yeah.
over a year ago, I went through COVID, and all I lost was my taste, not my sense of smell, just taste.
Yeah.
But it was a great thing because
Take advantage, man. Start eating healthy.
exactly. 'Cause I had this problem with candy. I ate it like Travis can tell you. I ate it like it was going out of style. But candy,
Ate it like candy.
yeah. But it tasted like saccharin, and it's like I was like and so it got me off of candy. Now I don't eat candy anymore. So it was a good. It was a good.
You know what
intervention.
COVID did for me? I got through all the booze on my bar that I didn't like, couldn't fucking drink, and I was like, I can't
choke
taste
down.
it now. Like,
You were you did Jolly Ranchers, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember you telling me about that. Yeah.
Damn
I lost my
things.
smell, but I had my taste.
Yeah.
So, and it was weird because it was, I could taste things, but once like it got to the back of my mouth, there was nothing. And so it was like this hollow, like,
it's
when
it's a
when
fucking weird.
yeah,
It's a
you,
weird.
like,
experience.
everything that you taste, you get that hit in the back of your nose, whether it's food or beverage or
And it's all-
cigars or
So,
whatever.
so John, you had COVID with your girlfriend.
Yeah.
And she also made a comment one time about losing her sense of smell.
Yes,
And what happened?
Your blowjobs went through the roof.
that was great.
Well, she clearly already lost her sense of taste.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
gone
but that
years
started when
ago.
they dated.
I'm okay with that.
I don't know. I had COVID. I believe twice now.
Yeah.
I think twice now.
I've had it 3 times.
I think I had the old
Yeah.
Delta and I had fucking Omicron, and both times I've just flexed and fucking it flew away.
Scott's
down
never
to
had
smoke.
COVID,
Shit don't bother me.
but he's been sick a couple times.
Yeah, I've just never been tested.
Yeah. Well, that
I just powered through.
like the only reason I know I had COVID once is because I donated blood, which I'm actually doing tomorrow. I'm donating blood tomorrow, so we'll see if what this last thing was COVID.
What to go to fucking multiple sclerosis kids or some shit?
Yeah,
Like,
actually,
Doing fucking
yeah.
God's
Yeah.
work.
Yeah, I have an appointment to donate blood tomorrow.
It's gonna have a little alcohol in it.
And I encourage everybody out there, donate blood, especially if you're O blood.
if you were qualified to
Yeah, I'm
donate
O
blood,
negative.
absolutely go.
It's
donate.
important. Yeah, you should.
And the thing is that I'm a universal donor.
Are you O negative?
I am.
I am too.
So
Oh, there you go. You guys
and I
definitely
used to
be
donate all the
donating.
time, and then the problem is that somehow the timing always sorted out where I'd either just been tattooed or I'd always been to a fucking country where you weren't allowed to donate because
Right.
you'd been there in
You
the
should be
last
good
3
now.
years.
Yeah.
I mean, because I've been domestic.
Like
for
right
a
about
while.
now, you should be good.
Yeah,
So
because like you go in and they're like, "Have you traveled internationally?" I was like, "A couple times to Africa," and they're like, "Yeah, no,
we don't want your blood.
we don't want yours." It's like,
can
"Where'd you
keep
go?"
it.
And it's like Burkina Faso, and
They're
they're like,
like,
"Yeah,
no. They're like, yeah, get your fucking Ebola out of here.
Yeah.
So,
years ago,
Fucking
in
your
order to
dengue
donate
fever
with
or whatever.
tattoos, they couldn't put the needle through ink, and that was the only regulations.
right.
Yeah, but
And
they
so-
changed that to where it was like if you'd been
Wow.
tattooed at all.
No, and so both my arms, my fucking IV veins, have open area spots for two reasons. One, I like IVs because it makes me feel good, and two, when I want to donate blood, it's hey, like you can't miss. It's
Yeah.
right there.
They don't
You know
give-
what I
they don't
mean?
give a shit
I
anymore.
did this on
X marks the
purpose.
spot.
Because
Yeah.
my ditches are
Target.
tattooed.
Yeah,
and they go
both
through
mine
my
are fucking
ditches.
completely covered, but there's
Yeah.
little white spot on both. Well, then they changed it.
Yeah, they
It
don't
has
give
to
a
be a
shit anymore.
quarter size
Really?
Around the injection site with no ink.
They don't give a shit about me. They go right through my tattoos.
I was literally sitting in a fucking thing getting ready to give blood. I think it was last year.
I think it just depends on what firm.
And they're
it
like,
is.
"Oh yeah,
I've never had a
we
problem.
can't do this." And I'm like, "Well, can you go anywhere else?" Like, fuck, I just want to give blood.
Yeah.
You know, like use my leg. I don't have
Technically, they
tattoos
can go in
or
your
anything.
hand too.
I told him to, but oh fuck, whatever.
Like,
Sure, he'll eat it.
what are you giving him?
A boozy cherry.
Oh, maybe not. Maybe he doesn't like booze.
He's like, no
buddy.
alcohol.
He's like, ugh, none of that. None of that. No.
He's like, whoa, that's
We
a
here at
strong
the
cherry.
Freedom Friends strongly do not encourage you to give your dogs or any kind of animal boozy cherries.
The lab on the
They won't take it.
My dog
Kira
used to
is an
drink
alcoholic.
with me.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
His name was literally whiskey.
Hey, Travis.
Well, I just don't want to get censored, which brings me into my next fucking point. Justin, have your finger on the button.
Well, before you get censored, let me tell you a fun little story about Kira. So Kira has been a booze hound her whole life.
She's such a good girl.
She's such a good
But
girl.
anytime we used to have a party, somebody spilled a beer, they set a drink down at her level, whatever it was. Didn't matter what it was.
On it.
Hard liquor, beer, she's 100% game.
See, I knew I liked that girl.
Right? So I'm living in Europe, and in Europe, the laws for marijuana are very relaxed. And so I decided to partake.
Fucking Stoner McGee over here.
You blew in her ear.
No. So
we're all a
I'm
bunch of
sitting in my
fucking
garage
degenerates.
and I'm smoking a joint, and she was like right up between my legs, like staring at me. And every time I smoked, she always came around, and I was like, oh, she's like getting a contact high, right? And it's on video somewhere, and I'll have to find it. It's on one of my laptops. But I took a hit, and I handed put it in front of her, like, okay,
Like
we'll
puff,
see what
puff,
happens,
pass.
And she literally put her lips on it. The cherry turns red, and she blew smoke out her nose on the video. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. So I take a hit, and I do it again, and she does it again. And I'm like, I'm fucking smoking weed with my dog right now, and somebody's videoing it. I'm like, oh my God.
We got to see that video.
That's amazing.
I'm going to have to find it. It was unreal. I'm like, no way, this is happening.
That's hilarious.
In that case,
What a good girl.
Right.
Good God.
That's pretty
So
good.
go ahead.
All right.
Let's
So
let's redact everything.
in the news,
Thank
in the news lately, cancel culture struck again, trying to cancel Joe Rogan. Now, Joe Rogan came out and apologized for.
hold on.
he didn't really
He
apologize.
didn't apologize.
He explained.
What
No,
he did was he
he-
explained why those guys were subject matter experts.
I think so. He
No,
doesn't, he
I'm
doesn't,
talking,
he
I'm,
doesn't
talking about, I'm
apologize.
talking about the N-word thing.
Oh.
But the
yeah.
racial slurs
So, like,
that
'cause
were in context.
well, the video that was taken extremely out of context.
Yeah.
Soundbite culture, yet again.
Here nor there. Like, these were all like tidbits of him dropping the N-bomb. Which like let's be real. Like that's not a word in common usage anymore. It's not a word that any of us choose to use.
No.
It's not a word that he chooses to use any longer. All right. Now, when he was having these conversations where the N-bomb was dropped, he was either quoting or talking about, or like, oh, so and so said X. Like,
It
type
wasn't
of thing.
him using that word.
Yeah, it wasn't him using that word as a weapon. Let's call it what it is.
Yeah.
All right, like let's call it that.
Yeah, that's not a cuss word. It's literally a word that was invented to be a racial slur.
Yeah.
That was the only reason it existed.
Right.
It serves no other purpose.
Derogatory.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So essentially, somebody did like a 30-second compilation of just him saying the N-word. So over like the course of 12, 15 years that he's had his podcast.
1,500 episodes or more. I don't even know what he's up to
3,000.
now.
That was
Yeah,
about
and this
3,000.
is like back in the day when it was like recorded in his fucking basement type of stuff.
Yeah.
It started there and then it went all the way through. There was a large compilation of him dropping the N-bomb, right? And essentially, because of it started with the Spotify thing with Neil Young, which we spoke about on the show, and then it escalated, and somebody else was like, "Well, I don't watch him because of this," and they dropped this video. Which Joe came out and was like, listen, out of context, this looks fucking terrible.
Yeah.
This is terrible to see.
Yeah.
He's like, it makes me sick to my own stomach seeing it like that, even though I know that every one of these conversations was taken out of context.
Yeah.
It still makes me sick to my stomach. And I have a responsibility to apologize because that is not something, that's not what I'm about.
Yeah.
Right? which I appreciate. All right, I do
Sort of.
appreciate him for saying
I
that.
disagree with you.
Now,
And here's why I disagree with you.
I appreciate that he doesn't like the video, and that
Right.
he's apologizing for the
But
video.
That's the thing, though, is that being forced to apologize because somebody else edited your audio
It's cancel culture and
to
it's
force
bullshit.
you
Yes.
into that situation.
That's my point I'm getting to. Is that
But you can do
it's
that with-
It's almost like a forced confession.
But it's like those supercuts that you see that people like take some sportscaster and put a song together
it's the-
out of the shit that they've said on
It's
in
the
their
one that we
sportscast.
did to put up on TikTok that got fucking pulled immediately.
Right. Because
Yeah.
there was no context to the
Yeah.
audio. And we did it as a joke. It wasn't even a
Actually,
try.
John just really likes masturbation.
Only with you boys.
If anybody listening to the show doesn't masturbate, please send us that story because I'd like to know.
Yeah, I'd like to know your reasoning.
Probably the dude that wants to cut,
Well, he doesn't listen to the show.
Yeah.
He's got his own podcast and he's the only download. Like but the reason I have a problem with the apology is that you were apologizing for the actions of somebody else. That would be like Happy Hooker over here
No, he's
doing something fucking
he's
retarded,
he's
and then I
apologizing-
apologize for him because he took action.
He's,
Like, that doesn't.
he's apologizing for the use of the word.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he could have easily censored himself back then and been like, instead of dropping the straight up
but go watch his show.
the NI double go.
Yeah,
Right.
But the problem is go watch his show,
Absolutely. The
and there's a
problem,
lot of stuff that gets said.
now here's my issue with watching the show now. Well, which I have no issue watching the show. I've been a fan of Joe Rogan for years. I'm going to continue to be a supporter and a fan of Joe Rogan. I have an issue with Spotify pulling 130 of his episodes.
Did they? Is that
Yeah.
confirmed?
They did. They
And
pulled
it's-
anything that had the mention because he moved his whole catalog there, so the entire thing is there.
Yeah.
So they
Like-
pulled the episodes that where the word is said.
They also pulled the episode, well, it won 130 times. They also pulled all the episodes about COVID or anything racial or
Yeah.
anything like where he like spoke to someone who had a difference in opinion of someone else.
They probably
basically.
had a bunch of keywords. Did a fucking
Well, it was
algorithm
anything
search.
that essentially
Essentially.
could throw a disparaging view onto Spotify.
Yeah.
The problem with that
I'm actually
is-
madder at Spotify than
Yeah.
I am
Yes.
at him.
Well, real quick, boys. So I just Googled it, and apparently it was Joe Rogan's decision to remove
to
the
pull those
episodes.
episodes.
It was not Spotify.
Well,
it was him himself.
Even then,
It doesn't matter.
I
It's a
have an
shame he had
issue
to
with
do
that,
that.
and I have an
It's-
issue with
Throw
that
out there.
It's still
because
censoring. It's censorship.
I don't have a problem with the right censorship. Like applied, like that word shouldn't be used for its reason,
Right.
right? Like that's not acceptable.
It's funny to me.
Like for its original purpose, it shouldn't be used unless it is to highlight the fact that racism is disgusting.
So
Now, if it's being done to highlight the fact that racism, and there's movies that use it.
For example,
Sure.
we could not read the book Huck Finn on this podcast.
Chapter 4.
Yep.
Don't read that.
It's not even just Huck Finn.
Thanks,
there's H.P. Lovecraft stories that you can't
Right.
read because of his pet cat. You
Yeah.
couldn't read that on the air.
Yeah.
There's things like that. But there are, like Tarantino. Tarantino has that in his script, in a lot of his scripts, and a lot of that is to highlight. We'll talk like Django Unchained.
Yeah.
That word is said, I don't even know how many number of times. in
Well, how
that.
about Pulp Fiction, where Tarantino himself says it?
Blazing
Yeah.
Saddles.
A lot of
Yeah,
times.
Blazing Saddles. There's a lot of movies.
Like there's a lot of movies, but a lot. It's used for the purposes of highlighting.
But up
It-
until
the-
2000, what?
It
Seven?
wasn't near as
Nobody cared. Like you could use it in context, and there was no like everybody understood that it was a descriptive.
Did they?
Now it's
No,
hypersensitive.
we
you know,
understood that it
it's-
was descriptive.
But
tho-
people didn't.
but-
A
but-
lot of that
but
was essentially
those-
giving permission for
those
the
who-
word because it seemed like it was okay.
But those who are genuinely affected by that word is something that you and I and everybody sitting here at
We
this
don't get
table, we're never going to get that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're like you can call me a honky all fucking day. It doesn't matter to me, right?
Cracker.
Because we just don't give a shit. Call me a cracker. Call me a Mick. Nobody gives a fuck, right?
Right.
But that word is specifically made and because it was developed as a weapon against that particular group.
Yeah.
So when that word is used,
I
it
just
is
wish that it
it's
was
used as a weapon, man.
Well,
it's used as
I
a
just-
terrible description.
I wish it was across the board unacceptable for anybody to use it.
Oh, I agree.
Well,
But it's not.
And we need to get there. And that's the real thing is that.
And until Black Americans, because that's really who perpetuates this problem.
Yeah.
Until Black Americans are like, hey, we're not going to use this either.
And I kind of got the original.
It is that bad.
And I kind of got the original purpose of how they were using it. Because it was essentially to try and de-weaponize it. And I was like, well, we're going to use it as a term of endearment almost, where it was like,
absolutely,
you know, my whatever, and it was supposed to be like like almost a term of
It's
endearment.
like the crayon joke. We fucking
just
absorbed it.
We're just going to take it and just make it ours, and it's fine. But the problem is that there is no permissible time to use that term, and I don't care what color you are. You can be fucking purple. I don't give a shit.
And I don't care if you change the spelling of it.
It doesn't matter.
I didn't drop the R. It doesn't fucking matter.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, that whole hard R argument and all that kind of stuff.
And truth be told, the term N-word, quote unquote, the N-word, right, is just as fucking bad. You're still saying the word.
You still understand the purpose.
You're just copping out.
But you have to. But
that's what it is.
There has to be a way to be able to say, like, we're having a conversation about it, right?
But where it's not derogatory.
Right, where it's not derogatory. It's a legit conversation.
As it sits in time right now, the term the N-word is acceptable for some fucking reason.
Right, and that's the thing is that
and it shouldn't be.
There's almost no other term.
Because you're still saying it.
It's
the F word.
It's stupid.
Well, yeah, we say F word or F-bomb.
If I can say the N-word, I should be able to say the N-word in a descriptive conversation about how inappropriate it is to use it.
I agree.
Inappropriately.
If being used in the context of fighting the word, I agree.
But you know, if you look at generations like my grandparents, I mean, they're past now, but their generation, it was just an everyday word.
Grandparents, man, our parents.
Our parents.
Used to shit, man. Like, I'm an Irish kid from South Boston.
Yeah.
You think I didn't grow up hearing that fucking word?
You don't know how many times I got embarrassed by my grandfather because of that word. I mean, there's one time in particular, but
bro, I brought a black girl home in high school, and let me just tell you, it didn't go over so well.
I think I told you guys that story about the president of the motorcycle club in Arizona, and he was married to a white girl, and her father had Alzheimer's, and every once in a while, you forget that he was racist. And so I'm so happy that you married my daughter, and blah blah blah, and all this stuff. And then every once in a while, you go over to the house and get that fucking N-word out of my house, and blah blah blah, and all that stuff. He's like, "What the fuck?"
Right?
I mean, and I think that's the problem.
Your dad is fucking confusing.
There's modern media and stuff like that. There's movies and stuff that are coming out. There's like, well, you know, the usage of this, and he's like, and you have these black actors that in the script are like, say it. I'll say it with you. You want to say it with me? We'll go ahead and say it because I know you want to say it. That's why I keep referring to it. And it's like, I don't listen to a lot of celebrities as far as wisdom is concerned, but Morgan Freeman actually said the best way for us to get rid of fucking racism is to stop fucking talking about it constantly.
Yeah.
Because we're just reinforcing the fucking concept.
quit bringing it up.
And it's like, if the word is that atrocious, and it is, get rid of it. Just stop fucking using it.
Across the board, though.
Everybody.
Across the board. Everybody stop fucking using it.
Their race. Their race uses it freely, but we can't. So it's like, you know, they need to stop.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Everybody needs to stop.
Well,
it's
like I was in the Army and we had an equal opportunity briefing, right? And they're like, Sergeant Jansen, what would you do to get rid of racism and equal opportunity shit? And I said, well, we could start by getting rid of these meetings. And I was the devil.
Yeah.
Like, well, no, if we're all equal, we don't need to have this fucking equal opportunity.
I agree.
It was the same concept when I was in. We kept having monthly ACE briefings, and the ACE briefing was an anti-suicide briefing.
Right.
And what they found out was that these ACE briefings were actually escalating the level of suicide, because what you were doing is once a month you were reminding somebody that suicide was an option. Yeah. And it's like, if you stop reinforcing this concept, you'd be amazed at how quick the concept goes away.
When Scott and I were in, we had a great suicide prevention policy. Is if it became aware that somebody was going down that road, they had to wear an orange road guard vest. They had a person guarding them 24/7. They lost shoelaces, their belts, anything they could cause any bodily harm with.
Yeah, because that makes you want to not kill yourself when you're singled out.
Right.
No, but within a couple of days, they're like, you know what, fuck this shit. Like, I'm going to go back to regular life.
Oh, I'm just going to go back and not talk about it and then just do it on my own time.
We never had anybody commit suicide.
That you know of.
In basic training, though, in basic training, oh God, if you were a suicide watch,
It's because people would get out. You could get out if you were a suicide risk.
but-
That's why.
But it was that, like, they're walking around with their
Yep.
boots, no laces in their boots.
Yeah, they take their rifle, they take the whole
Yeah.
9 yards. Because if you're a suicide risk in basic, they'll get you out. Like
Yeah.
they'll push you out. So everybody that didn't want to be there,
Yeah.
all of a sudden became a suicide risk in basic training.
And how do you join the military? And like 3 days into the military, you're like, I want out so bad.
Yeah,
like
all I've done is cut my hair and got issued my fucking PT.
But
Like,
they're
I need
yelling
out.
at you. You can't get yelled at. But they're yelling at
What
me,
did
and
you-
I can't
what
deal
did
with them
you
getting yelled
think
at.
was going to happen on day one of basic training?
Right? Like, fuck,
I
man.
don't
Have you
know.
watched any movie ever about anything? Fuck out of here.
But yeah, it really comes down to just don't fucking talk about it.
And
Like,
that's my point. So that's why, like, I understand why he apologized, and I get it. Like he apologized for the video, you know, like specifically. He's like, look, I apologize that I used the word because I perpetuated that word.
Well, and it
I
could
don't.
obviously.
What he didn't apologize for was the conversations that word was used in,
Oh, 100%.
because those conversations are important.
Yeah.
That's how we grow. We grow by
You're right.
talking.
Yeah.
We grow by talking about it and talking through it. You know what I mean? And there was another joke that he made that wasn't even a fucking funny joke. It was a fucking stupid joke about the Planet of the Apes.
the fact of the matter is that he's a way better podcast host than he ever was a comedian.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah.
Because he's not a great comedian. Sorry,
Yeah, he
Joe,
just- he just
but you're
ye-
not.
yeah, you just
Like,
yell
you're just
a lot,
mad.
man.
You just yell at
Yeah,
Mike.
yeah,
He was
you
all
yell
right
at
in
Mike,
Fear
like-
Factor, you know, but
Yeah, and he's great at hosting UFC.
Dude, as far as a host is concerned, he's great. But as a
Yeah.
comedian,
Yeah, you're not my favorite comedian, buddy, but you are my favorite podcaster, and I believe that like the conversations and
see,
and-
I disagree because Mikey, you're my
oh
favorite
you
podcaster.
oh you've clearly what are you drunk? how many old fashions you make him?
damn copper shot.
they're strong.
Fucking like you are my favorite podcaster because you have opened up a world of opportunity to guys like us to have this platform.
Actually,
Like-
the reason that he's one of my favorite is because he has welcomed in conversations from any point of view.
All sides.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
Doesn't
even if
matter.
he doesn't agree on it.
Yeah.
He still lets him talk.
Brings
He
it
has
in.
had politicians from both sides of the aisle. He has had from both sides of science.
He
From-
said drunk, stupid motherfuckers
Yeah.
like Ron White. Like,
Yeah.
and that's
been
one of
wild.
my favorite ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
3.5 hour episode with Snoop Dogg was great.
Oh my god, the Snoop Dogg one was
Mike
amazing.
Tyson. Mike
Yeah.
Tyson was
Yeah.
amazing. Like every time he's been on, Neil Tyson.
Like if
as
Joe,
well.
if
like,
Joe Rogan gets canceled, fuck everybody.
Well, I just thought it was hilarious when that whole Neil Young thing happened. And it was like Joe Rogan gets 11 million an episode
Yeah,
in viewership. 11 million an episode in viewership.
yeah.
Everybody that listens to Neil Young has been an AARP member for like 20
well,
years.
and
Right.
literally, like think
I
about
saw
the,
Neil live once.
think about the last
With Pearl
time.
Jam.
Think about the last time you heard a Neil Young song. For me, it had to be 3 or 4 years.
Oh,
like-
no.
I
Been a
still
while.
think it's hilarious that the guy that wrote Keep on Rockin' in the Free World
Yeah.
was requesting censorship.
Yeah,
What I think
and then when you look into like all the ties that he has,
Yeah.
with-
Well,
That's
I
fucking
think it's hilarious that the group of people who are trying to censor him are the same group of people that are constantly fighting against censorship.
Right.
But they
I can't wait to give it a couple months and all these people need a paycheck again.
Yeah, and
And
then
their
they're back
music's
on Spotify.
yeah.
Like-
Well, so here's
For the
my
4 people that are streaming Neil Young music.
The young lady, I don't remember her name. She's a recording artist that shared the N-bomb video. She was basically, she made a good point. She was like, Spotify pays Joe Rogan like $100 million, right?
Yeah.
Whereas every artist on Spotify gets 1% of a penny for every play.
However,
however,
Joe
there's a reason
Rogan
for
is
that.
not allowed to put his media anywhere else.
Correct.
He's not allowed to do anything
Yeah.
but put his media on Spotify. Whereas those recording artists are allowed to go still hold concerts and put their media wherever the fuck they want to. They can still get radio play. They can still do all of
It's
that.
called the power of negotiation.
And
Yeah.
Joe Rogan is desirable because you're some fucking recording artist that they found on TikTok and you had one fucking song and you only get a penny from Spotify.
That'll be Truth be told, it's mostly people who are like Neil Young's fucking generation
And
that
who
they're
cares?
bitching about.
Like, move the fuck on.
Yeah.
Like, do what any of the other retired fucking dudes did and go fucking buy a pot farm and make fucking millions. Like, Jesus. That's what the rest of them did.
Once
to
again,
California.
shout out Snoop Dogg.
It's not even Snoop Dogg, man. There's like major comedians. What's his name? There's a huge comedian that now owns and lives on a pot ranch. And like everybody just comes out and hangs out with him, and he just
Dave
runs.
Chappelle?
No,
No,
he
I
lives
was
in
gonna say,
fucking
not a bad
Ohio.
gig.
Yeah, he lives in like middle of nowhere, Ohio, in the burbs.
Well, anyone that's going to live on a pot farm.
No, and Dave Chappelle explains why he lives in Ohio. And it's because of the women that go to the
That's
grocery
right.
store.
Yeah, that's right.
So Rumble has offered Joe Rogan $100 million to move over to their video platform.
The best part
What
is
the
that
fuck is Rumble?
the best part is at the
And
end
how the fuck did they get $100 million?
Right?
at the end of the email from the CEO, it says this offer is real.
Where did you even get that much money? I
Right.
never even heard of you.
if I'm going to bring Joe Rogan to a platform, I'll find it.
Not right.
No, I think I had a Rumble at one point. It was like it
What
was
the
like
fuck is Rumble?
I thought it was like
I know,
a
it's-
Tinder app.
it was one of those. It was one of those fucking. Hey, let's.
Oh, no, that was Grinder. My bad.
So looking at it, it looks like another version of YouTube.
Yeah, Rumble was like a. It was like a social networking.
I don't understand why these
alternative.
people try. It's like, I'm going to replace YouTube. No, you're not.
No, you're
No,
not.
you're not.
Yeah, it's just
You're
like
not.
people- it's
you're
like-
not going to fucking do it.
Well, it's like when Trump was like, "Hey, I'm gonna make my own
new
social
media
media
company."
company."
No,
No,
you're
you're
not.
not, dude. Like
That's like when
Facebook
that,
won.
when that competitor
Like,
for
Actually,
Twitch.
Facebook's losing right now.
Well, yeah,
They
Facebook
just
dropped
lost
this week.
tens of billions of dollars.
Yeah, but I'm saying like
Who was that
Facebook,
fucking
Instagram, all
company
those.
that decided
they
to go
won.
up against fucking Twitch for game streaming?
Mixer.
Those motherfuckers made it like 6 months, and they were like, "Yep, nope, we got our asses handed to us."
They did
Like,
the same thing. They offered multi-million-dollar contracts to these dudes, and then about 9 months later, everybody was back on the same platform.
they all left.
But those dudes also made millions of dollars for moving to a platform for like 9 months.
Fucking craziness. So just, yeah, that's like I had, because I do consulting and stuff. I had somebody that was talking to me, but they were like, "Well, I want to make a OnlyFans competitor." I was like, "Don't." That's
Yeah.
my advice to you as a consultant.
Yeah,
is don't. There's already 3 major players, and you're not going to fight any of them.
What are the other two?
Yeah, what are they doing?
So it's Fansly and Minivids. So if you're really curious what the other options are, there they are. There's 3 major players of the space, and you're
Actually,
not going to fight with them.
There's 4, and we're on the other one. So go check out our Patreon.
Speaking of which, before Mikey pays the bills, Mikey heard this earlier today, but I'm going to go ahead and hit you with my dad joke of the day.
Yeah, there's a jazz dad joke of the day.
So
A jazz joke of the day.
there you go. That'll work.
Yeah.
So in most states, it is illegal to own a winged horse.
Okay.
But in Alabama, it's okay to Pegasus.
Yep, that's what I got this morning, boys. That's what I got this morning.
You gotta start your day off on the right foot.
You know what? Every time, man. Every time. That said, everybody, brought to you by warfightertobacco.com. Use that code FTFO. Screw yourself that sweet 15% off. And of course, our friends owellness.us. For all your CBD needs, use that code FreedomFriends25. Get yourself a quarter off your order over there.
And go look up fucking Copper Shot. and
Yeah,
figure out where you
Copper
can buy the
Shot
fucking whiskey.
Distillery.
Do you have any
Steve, let them know how they can find you, man.
Yep.
Yeah, or CNS Cigars on Facebook, Copper Shot Distillery on Facebook's best way to find us because we really don't update our webpage very much. But we do have, like I said, coppershot.com. But yeah, go to.
They're too busy making actual good fucking product to fucking worry about
yeah,
your shit.
all the girls update on Facebook. So it's the best way to follow us.
All the Copper Shot links will be down in the description wherever you're listening or
Yay.
watching.
Nice.
There you go. There you go.
Steve, thanks for
thanks for coming out, man.
Man, thank y'all.
Yeah, we appreciate it, man.
We love
getting
y'all
into-
product. Yeah.
Well, we love getting into the nitty gritty of like the process of like what you do, and I think it's really interesting. Like a lot of our fans are going to really appreciate this episode. So,
You need to come see us.
Well, we will.
dude, we will, man. Absolutely, yeah. I got to get up there.
Oh, shit.
Rue, what the fuck, man?
Christ.
You're like, I'm out of here. It's done.
Seriously. It's fucking, somebody's getting treats.
Jesus. Like, share, subscribe, smash all those buttons. Tell your mom.
Tell your friends.
Tell your fucking mom's friends. God damn. There's a mediocre show out there. 4 mediocre dicks doing mediocre things. This is what we do.
Hold on, before we quit, I got a question.
What's that?
Oh,
Steve, how do you feel about us recording an episode at Copper Shot?
Oh, bring it.
See?
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, I've been on a lot of stuff. So I've been on Bucket List. I've had an hour-long episode on
I met that
A&E.
guy. He's a good dude.
Yeah.
Bucket list guy.
Yeah. And Day Tripper. I've been,
Awesome.
it's real photogenic.
But none of them are as mediocre as us.
Perfect.
Well, I'm going to raise this
Down to
copper
earth.
shot old fashioned.
That's right.
And say
Same.
thank you all for being my fucking freedom friends.
Cheers,
Thank
boys.
y'all.
Cheers.
3 little word things to live by.
Not hard.
Not hard. Mikey, hit him with the first one.
I'll hit him with the first one. It's a smoke on.
Scotty boy.
Drink on.
And God damn it, kids. Freedom the fuck on. We'll see you next time.